Welcome into another edition of high school baseball on a Wednesday afternoon here live from Principal Park as the Lincoln Rail Splitters, Des Moines Public School District, will take on the Dowling Catholic Maroons in a regular season doubleheader here at the home of the Iowa Cubs. My name is Emery Songer. We're here to join you with Central Iowa Sports Network's coverage of high school baseball and softball throughout the 2020 season. Didn't know we were going to have a season. Everything started on Monday. Both of these teams are here and excited to play some baseball here at really the crown jewel, a place that every kid dreams of playing at here in the state of Iowa. They'd love it to be in the state tournament, but even though it is not the state tournament, they're going to get an opportunity to play here on a diamond that is occupied by AAA stars and players who are about to get themselves to the highest level of the game. Lincoln having their lineup and their roster introduced here live from the visitors' dugout on the first base side. Get to their lineup momentarily. Do want to remind you we have other games that you can see all season long on CISN.TV. And for just $30, you can have a season pass, or for $5, you can watch a single game. Let's go ahead and give you the Lincoln Rail Splitter order. 0-2 so far this season. Played on Monday. Lost a pair of games to Southeast Polk at home. They are going to be led by Caden Storm in the leadoff spot. They'll be followed by Deshaun Sharp. Senior second baseman Reese Martin will bat third. Cooper King is the senior third baseman. He'll bat fourth with Brandon Canny, the senior center fielder, batting in the 5-hole. Nico Luna will pitch. He is in the 6th slot. The designated hitter is Sean Albright, a senior. With new designated hitter rules, we're not sure who will hit. Luna, the pitcher, actually had an excellent year, hitting over 300 last season, but we'll see if Albright does get the nod. You can list a DH, and they do not have to bat initially. It does give you some lineup flexibility, though, as the game moves on. Lower third, Hunter Waka, Camden Waka, and Brandon Chapman round out the 9 for head coach Josh Klein and his Rail Splitters. For the Dowling Catholic Maroons, it'll be the senior Adam Brauch. He'll be at second base. The sophomore third baseman Blake Anderson will hit in that 2-hole. It'll be senior right fielder Hank Hamrick. In the cleanup spot, senior first baseman Brandon Bickford will be followed by Nianti Gerke, a senior in left field. The pitcher is batting 6th, junior Charlie Carell. The junior is Owen Brauch. He'll be batting 7th and play shortstop. Derek Enertson, a junior center fielder, is going to bat 8th, and then the DH is senior Jason Moist, and he will be batting for the catcher, a junior Grant Mullenbach. Umpires today, just 2 umpires, as typical for a high school regular season game. You usually see 3, sometimes even 4 here by the time you get to the state tournament, but we do have 2. Brian Scrimmager will get the plate assignment. Mike Kelly will be on the base pass here for the first of these 2 games, and then we will have those 2 guys flip-flop. They will both be our umpires for the second game as well. About as nice a night as you could imagine is on deck. Sun, when you're out there in the sun on the field, it will be a little bit warm. At least what I'm showing right now is 86 degrees with the UV index, the heat index. It feels like 88 degrees. Looking at the wind and the way that it's blowing out there in the center field, it's blowing pretty good. So there is a nice breeze coming from the Des Moines River, who cuts through downtown Des Moines, blowing basically from the river out in right center field, basically straight across toward the left field corner. So any ball that's hit to right field probably is going to get knocked down. This already is pretty cavernous for an outfield for these 2 teams, these high school players. 335 down the sides and 400 to straightaway center field. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will get you the first pitch right after this. It's Dowling and Lincoln on CISN.
In a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. Depending on damage, new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value, with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it. connecting with you, and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Charlie Correll getting himself lined up for first pitch for the Dowling Catholic Maroons as Lincoln will come to bat wearing their maroon uniforms, oddly enough, trimmed in gold with white pants. Dowling wearing all white uniforms. A pinstripe look almost up top, but really good look. These two teams going to be out in the sun, officially 86 degrees. Wind is blowing almost 20 miles an hour pretty regularly out from that right center field mark toward the left field line, but those sunny skies going to make it feel real nice out there for baseball, especially when that sun starts to set here. Probably in between games is when you're going to start really feeling it from the heat to just a nice, beautiful summer night. Caden Storm, Deshaun Sharp, Reese Martin will be first to face Charlie Correll. For Dowling Catholic, Correll did not pitch on Monday, which is to be expected. Correll, as a sophomore last year, appeared in 3 games, won all 3 of them, 3-0. He pitched 19 innings of work. Opponents hitting just 190 and the batting average against. 2.95 was the ERA, 1.11 the whip. An excellent pitching year last year as a sophomore. Now as a junior, Correll going to try to get off to a good start as well. As Caden Storm gets into the batter's box, we get ready to go here for the first pitch of tonight's game. Start this doubleheader, and the first pitch is roped down the left field line. That's going to be a base hit. Storm takes a big turn at first, takes a peek. Nianti Gerke is going to bring it back in quickly to hold Storm to a single, but a good start for the Lincoln Rail Splitters on the first pitch of the night. That first pitch came at 5:04 in the evening. This doubleheader, about as good as it gets weather-wise here in the state of Iowa, at least during the summer months, as Deshaun Sharp is going to take a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Strikeout numbers last year for Correll, 17 Ks in his 19 innings, and he only walked 5. He did hit 6 batters, though, as a quick pickoff throw over to first base, not in time. Nianti Gerke is out in left with Derek Enertson in center. Hank Hamrick is out in right. On infield from left to right is Blake Anderson, Owen Brauch, Adam Brauch, and Brandon Bickford. The catcher is Grant Mullenbach. The battery mate, his pitcher, the right-hander, Charlie Correll. Now 1-1. Now the count. Sharp gets back in. Did not get statistics as this one in. Great backhand play behind the plate by Mullenbach. It's 2-1, though, to Sharp here. Lincoln's first 2 games of the season on Monday, they hosted Southeast Polk. 11-1 was the first game, a loss, and 6-3 was the second game. There's a big hack no contact from Sharp, and it's 2-2. Both of these teams did have that doubleheader on Monday. Dowling went 2-0, dominating Des Moines North on the road, 11-0 and 15-1 in their 2 games. Lincoln would love to get their first win as the runner goes. That one high. This attempted steal, ball a little bit wide and bounces in, and it'll be a stolen base for Caden Storm. And Sharp taking that one makes it 3-2. So now a runner with good speed and scoring position. And Sharp will once again dig in from the left side. Payoff pitch on the way. Fires. He got him swinging. Good off-speed pitch on the outside corner, and Sharp goes down for the first out. And that'll bring up Reese Martin. The senior is playing second base. Martin last season, this team started every game. 421 was the average, 463 was the on-base, slugged over 540. No homers, 21 knocked in. Struck out just 9 times, walked 7 times. So between all those numbers, you can tell Martin one of the top hitters in this order coming into this season. And he's got a good runner in Caden Storm out there at second base. With 1 out in the top of the first inning. Correll comes set, working out of the stretch, and his first pitch on the way. And another breaker underneath the hands of Martin on the swing and a miss, 0-1 the count. Not really a cloud in the sky. Can be a little bit muggy when you talk about being out in the sun, at least for the first few innings of this one. But as I mentioned, as we start moving into the evening, as that ball ripped foul down the left field line, 0-2. When we get going here with this sun starting to set over the terraces here and the stands, it is going to be a picture-perfect night in Des Moines. Pretty nice crowd on hand, early season high school baseball. This is not a state tournament game. Of course, that's usually the only time you'll see high school games going on here at Principal Park. 0-2 here to Martin. Long set, the kick and fire. This ball, a little nubber over the pitcher's head. It'll be Brauch at second. Makes a nice running play to get the out. Storm will advance to third base. We'll go 4-3 in your scorebook is Adam Brauch. Brauch a middle infield. Owen Brauch at short and Adam Brauch at second. It was Adam who made the play. And with 2 away, it'll be the cleanup hitter Cooper King with a chance to get Lincoln on the board with the first runner of the game, just 90 feet away. First pitch catches the black of the plate. King kind of tilts his head. Not sure about that one from home plate umpire Bryman Scrimmager, but definitely have a better angle of it than we do up here. A little off center. We're set up here in the box. It's a little bit toward the third base side as that one hits King. So he was pretty close to hitting him. King definitely was hugging the plate pretty well, but it ended up being a taken strike. Second pitch, a little too far inside. King wears it, and he'll go down to first base. By the way, King had 281 last year, 400 the on base, and walked a team-high 17 times a year ago. Struck out 20 times, but certainly a guy that likes to get on base. He is now at first with Storm still hanging out at third, and it's Brandon Canny, senior center fielder, batting in the 5 spot. An opportunity here against Charlie Correll with 2 outs. First pitch, swung on, fouled back into the stands, 0-1. Canny last year, 240 his average, started about half of the games for this rail splitter team. On-base percentage of .321. Didn't get a whole lot of at-bats, just 25 on the season, but did get 6 hits. And he swings over this one, and it's 0-2. Correll has been throwing a lot of strikes for the most part. 0-2, though, the count. Correll trying to work out of trouble here in the top of the first. He sets. And the delivery. Swing and a miss up around the letters, strike 3. So working in and out of trouble is Charlie Correll in the first, but nothing crosses for Lincoln. And after 1/2 inning of play, Rail Splitters nothing, and Dowling Catholic coming to bat right after this. You're watching high school baseball on CISN.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Lincoln threatens cannot score in the top of the first. They'll go out to the field, try to hold off the Maroons, who enter at 2-0 this season. They played Des Moines North. North, a program that continues to try to put the pieces together and try to contend in the CIML. A lot of Des Moines public schools do have at least some level of struggles from time to time in just getting big, successful classes to get out on the diamond. Des Moines Roosevelt has been the most successful of them in recent years, but Lincoln has some pieces. Des Moines North, however, solid. This Dowling Catholic team does have some pieces too. 11-0 and 15-1. Dowling picked up a couple of wins on Monday. It's the first pitch, a swing and a miss from Nico Luna to the leadoff batter for Dowling, Adam Brauch. In the first game of the season, Brauch had 3 at-bats, did have 1 hit, but he drove in 5 different runs. He was also hit by a couple of pitches. It's 0-2 to him here. Nico Luna is the pitcher. Last year, as one of the lead men for this rail splitter team, one of the top 3 pitchers a year ago. As this pitch misses inside, it's 1-2. Luna did have a 1-7 record, pitched almost 30 innings, 29 2/3 of work, an ERA 6.13, a WHIP 2.16. Opponents hit 269 against him. Is this a ground ball up the middle, fielded by Camden Waka over to first in time for the first out. It's good fielding play up the middle by Waka. Got a couple of different pairs of family members on both of these teams. We talked about the Brauch connection up the middle, a shortstop and second baseman for Dowling. Well, we have the 2 Wakas. Camden Waka, who plays short, made that play over there. Hunter Waka is out in right field. We'll get to the rest of the defense for Lincoln here in a moment. 1 away, it's Blake Anderson, who takes a ball outside 1-0. Lefty Anderson, just a sophomore, did 0 for 4 in the action on Monday. 2-0 now the count to Anderson. Working quickly is Luna. This one well outside, and it's 3-0. A little different perspective. You know, see the lefty for Luna. We would assume this is his first action of the season. The 3-0, and that hits him. So try to come inside, and a little too far inside, and Luna plunks him. Anderson reaches, and he'll be aboard. Hank Hamrick, the senior right fielder, is the next batter, another lefty. And his catcher, Brandon Chapman, for Lincoln, kind of giving some instructions of where to line up. Get to Hamrick's numbers. A good lead over at first base, and as soon as I say that, Luna notices and tosses over to first. The defense behind Nico Luna. Caden Storm is in left field with Brandon Canny in center and Hunter Waka in right. Cooper King is the third baseman. Camden Waka at short. Reese Martin at second, and Deshaun Sharp playing first. Brandon Chapman is the runner is the catcher as the runner went on the pitch after another big lead. You can tell Anderson wants to get a good jump, but Hamrick fouls this one off 0-1. Chapman is the catcher for the right-hander Nico Luna. Hamrick's numbers through 2 games. 2 for 5, couple RBIs. Runner not going here. Throw behind the runner. A little bit tall, but Deshaun Sharp able to pull it down so it doesn't get into right field. 1-1. Calling this the Iowa Soybean Association Summer Series here live from Principal Park. Throughout the summer, there will be various teams invited to play games. We'll count in the regular season standings here. The home of the Iowa Cubs. It's that pitch up high, and it's 2-1 the count. Do want to continue to mention, did not get statistics from Des Moines Lincoln about Monday's action at Southeast Polk. So the numbers you'll be hearing are the ones that we have from last year. As the runner goes, this ball pops straight up. That is coming near the dugout. Oh, what a snag! Brandon Chapman. Wow. Brandon Chapman with an unbelievable sliding catch. After the ball was hit in the air, he just kind of stood there, didn't know where it was, took the mask off, and sprinted full speed toward the Dowling dugout, snagged it, and looked straight into the maroon dugout and had something to say into the dugout. So much so that home plate umpire Brian Scrimmager had to walk over and tell the Dowling dugout to relax a little bit. That was an excellent catch by Chapman for the second out of the inning. Not going to see much better than that from a backstop in high school baseball. I'll tell you that right now. Cleanup hitter Brandon Bickford, senior, is up, righty. 4 RBIs after a 4-for-6 day on Monday. Certainly a run producer, and he takes that one just a hair inside, 2-0 the count. Bickford slugging over 1,000 through 2 games, had 3 doubles and a single. Impressive stuff through 6 at-bats on Monday. That one catches the outside edge, 2-1. Well, if that play up the middle by Camden Walker and that sliding catch near the home dugout by Brandon Chapman is any indication, we could be in for a barn burn couple of games here. This ball hit hard into center field. Slipping and falling is a center fielder, Canny, but he won't have to move an inch to reel this one in. A hit batter goes for none after wanting a play. Lincoln and Dowling Catholic knotted at 0 right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
0-0 our score as we head to the top of the second. Some phenomenal defensive plays being made. Brandon Chapman, the catcher for Des Moines Lincoln. You can go ahead, even though it's the 3rd game of the season, first week, and go ahead and hang a star on that one. That might be one of the plays of the year in high school baseball, sliding toward the opponent's dugout after not knowing at all where the ball was after it was popped up in foul ground until it was on its descent, sprinted over, made an incredible sliding grab. Nico Luna is the pitcher, and he is going to be hit for by Sean Albright, the DH. And it's a 1-1. New DHing rules. You can list a designated hitter. There's a strike. 1-2. Albright will be followed by Hunter Waka and Camden Waka. So 2 Wakas will be batting back-to-back here as we get to the lower half of this order. As this one bounces, that's about a 53-footer there from Charlie Carell. Had to pitch in and out of trouble in that first inning, but got out of it. Righty does the windup, and this one put in play, right side, fielded by Adam Brauch. Throw to first in time for the first out of the inning. Albright last year in limited action went 3 for 9 at the plate, all singles with 3 knocked in, but is retired here in his first at-bat of the year. I'll bring up Hunter Waka. Here's the windup and delivery from Corral. That's right there for a strike, 0-1. Waka, a senior last year as a junior. Went 6 for 11 at the plate. Did not bat a whole lot, but 6 for 11 is pretty darn good. As they do give him strike call here to Waka. 5:45 in that limited action, 6:15 the on base after walking a couple of times too, but he'll strike out here on 3 pitches. And quickly 2 away. That's the third strikeout recorded by Charlie Corral. And now that'll bring up Camden Waka. Camden to the plate. Was not on the varsity roster last year. Remember, we do not have any Lincoln stats from Monday's doubleheader at Southeast Polk, or against Southeast Polk, which Lincoln hosted on the south side of Des Moines. 1-0. Corral working quickly. That one inside, and it's 2-0. As we get a little further in the game, remind you what the pitch count rules are. Both these teams do have games slated for Friday. I would imagine, as there's a strike, most of the guys that were used pitching-wise Monday were used in a way that they could be available on Friday. And the guys you're going to see today, most of which are not in the plans for this Friday's games, but two balls, 2 strikes after the foul ball, and the 2 outs, nobody on. 8-hitter Camden Waka. Fires. And Waka says no thanks. Here's a look. The windup and delivery. And that's off the corner, and that'll be a walk. So Waka with 2 outs gets himself on with the base on balls. And that'll send the number 9 hitter, catcher Brandon Chapman. The senior catcher last year, 210 was his average, 300 the on base. Hit 3 doubles, a triple, and had 11 runs batted in. And is coming off of making a great defensive play. And the first pitch to him was outside, 1-0. Camden Waka over at first, just a normal lead. With 2 outs, probably isn't doing anything crazy over there. So, of course, you never know. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. Head coach Josh Klein, we're in the third base coach's box. You never know, he might have something up his sleeve. Try to get Corral a little distracted. We did see Caden Storm in motion, and he stole second base in the top of the first. As that ball roped out into left field, and how about that start for Chapman? He makes an excellent play behind the plate in the bottom of the first inning in his first at-bat here. In the top of the second, he gets a single to keep the inning alive. Carter Storm is going to get the call as a courtesy runner. Caden Storm will now come to the plate. Courtesy runner rules, pitcher and catcher can have unlimited re-entries. After they reach base, a courtesy runner is summoned. And in terms of the rules, that courtesy runner can keep coming in as a courtesy runner for that player in that slot until they are used somewhere else, and then somebody else has to come and be that courtesy runner. A little confusing, but after you understand the rules, see it in play a few times, pretty simple. Of course, most of the time when you're lifted in baseball at the higher levels, you are out, and that's just the way it goes. In high school ball, you have unlimited re-entries as a pitcher and catcher if you are hit for, or run for, I should say, after you get on base. That one fouled back. It's 1-1 here to Caden Storm, who singled down the left field line. First time up to lead off the game. Runners on first and second. A little two-out rally here for the Rail Splitters. Another threat. And we'll see if Caden Storm can find a way to make it hurt and make it count. As that pitch misses, it's 2-1. Not far off that time, it didn't look at least, from Carell, but good eye at the plate by the leadoff batter, Caden Storm. Long look in. Carell peeks at second, and now will step off. You saw Owen Brauch, the shortstop, just kind of dancing a little bit behind the runner at second, Camden Waka. But not close enough really to second base to generate a pickoff throw. And the first baseman, Bickford, playing behind the runner at first. 2-1. And there's a strike at the knees, and it's 2-2. Carell trying to work out of trouble for the second straight inning. Time called. Good to have baseball and softball going once again here in the state of Iowa. It's just the third day of such action around the state. 2-2. Oh, good emergency hack there. As that clips off the top of the screen and out of play. Storm really didn't like that pitch, but knew it was too close to take, so just threw the bat at it and got a piece. Here at Principal Park, over the offseason, they did extend the netting all the way down, almost all the way to the foul lines. Pretty standard practice now in all levels of professional baseball, just trying to protect fans. As that one just misses inside. Grant Mullenbach, the catcher, took a step toward his dugout thinking that might be a called third strike, but it was not. And the seventh pitch of this at-bat will be with a 3-2 count and runners on first and second. 2 away. Carell. Runners go. This ball popped up on the infield. Carell makes a nice little basket catch running toward the first base line to get himself out of the jam. Again, Lincoln gets a couple of runners on but cannot score. Dowling will come up in the bottom half of the second with a scoreless game right here from Principal Park. You're watching high school baseball on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
In a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. Depending on damage, most new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Dowling comes up, bottom of the second. It'll be Nianti Gerke, Charlie Carell, and Owen Brauch. Those are the three scheduled hitters here for head coach Mark Roaring and his Maroons. First pitch in the windup, Nico Luna delivers, and he's got a strike, 0-1. We did briefly mention last half inning about the screening. Instead of just what we were used to for decades in baseball, as this pitch up and in, 1-1. We were used to, for decades, just having a backstop screen where anywhere basically outside the backstop you were exposed in some way to the ball, a foul ball, whether it was hit in the air or on a rope. If it was hit in your direction, you had to be aware of it, maybe make a play or get out of the way. As the 2-1 on the way here. And that's high. 3-1 here to Gerke. Gerke, first doubleheader of the season, went 3 for 5. Couple RBIs. Couple of doubles as well. Bat in the middle of this order. Swings and misses at that one about letter high, and is 3-2. Well, last year especially, I mean, we have had some concerns over the last 10 years or so about line drives in foul territory hitting spectators. As that catches the outside corner, strike 3 called. First K for Nico Luna, and that one froze Gerke. And that's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Charlie Corral. Well, you remember the small child that was hit in Houston when the Chicago Cubs were down there, Albert Almora Jr., and pretty much everybody else that was there had adverse reaction as Corral helps himself out with a base hit up the middle. First hit of the game for Dowling. Corral in the first doubleheader went 1 for 4 with an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout, but he reaches here, and it looks like we'll have a courtesy runner for the pitcher, and it will be Ramel Hernandez. So Hernandez over at first. And the batter will be the number 7 spot, junior shortstop Owen Brauch. Brauch 0 for 3. He played in one of the 2 games against Des Moines North on Monday. Hernandez was 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts, and he has a huge lead over there at first base. We'll see if he's in motion. He is not here on the first pitch. It's a chopper. This is a fair ball. Only one play. That's a long throw, but this one air-mailed, and it's going to get into the dugout or just sit on top of the dugout, but you're going to say it was out of play. Either way, the runner's advanced 1 spot. So, for me, that's an infield hit from Brauch. That's a tough play for Cooper King at third base, but E5 on the long throw that ends up out of play. And with runners on second and third and 1 out, Derek Enertson, an opportunity to get the first run of the game across the board. Ramel Hernandez, good speed at third. Brauch at second. First pitch, little nubber. That'll score a run. The shortstop, Camden Walker to first in time. Now going to third. This throw off the mark, and that gets away. Now heading for home is the runner Brauch, and he's going to score easily. So first baseman Deshaun Sharp made the play at first base for the putout. The aggressive base running from Brauch to third base drew a throw, and the throw got away. Enertson will get credit for 1 RBI on what was a 6-3 ground out. And with 2 outs, 2-run score as Hernandez scored on the play. And then on the return throw, E3, Brauch finds a way to score. It's the first pitch. Strike here. DH, Jason Moist. Moist, 3 for 5 in the first day of play, including a double, 4 knocked in. He did strike out once. This 1-1 here to him. Just to finish up on the extended screens, Iowa Cubs not alone. Almost every Major League ballpark by the end of last season had put some level of extended screens down their lines to protect fans from hard-hit line drives. Hard to react. And now fans can enjoy the game in safety of any age. This one fouled straight back. We'll do the 1-2 again. Dowling scores a pair of runs here. By my count, everything will be earned. Actually, just 1 run would be earned right now. If there's another hit, both runs would be earned against Nico Luna. But the aggressive base running from Dowling, drawing a couple of defensive mistakes along the infield. That one in the dirt, 2-2. Just the bottom of the second. This is the first game of 2 that we will play between these 2 teams, Dowling and Lincoln. This is the windup from Luna and the delivery, that one high. I believe that's just ball 3. At least on my count it was ball 3, but either way, it'll be a walk. So either the scoreboard had the count wrong or we did down here, but either way, it was a 3-2 count, apparently, and it was the first walk issued. Is that for Adam Brauch? Going to say illegal pitch. That's a balk. And that allows Moist to second. So Nico Luna going to really try to. That ball's hit hard into center field. Ranging back, reaching up, making the catch is Brandon Canny, though. And Luna does a good job to get out of the jam. But 2 runs score. And after 2 innings of play, it is Dowling Catholic 2 and Lincoln 0. They'll come to bat in the third when we return here on CISN.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
2-3-4 due up for Lincoln here in the third. Charlie Corral going to try to keep up the strong work, especially when runners have been on base. It's not been easy for him to keep Lincoln off the scoreboard so far, but he'll have Deshaun Sharp, Reese Martin, and Cooper King, 3 of the best bats that Lincoln has to offer. As we start the third inning, 2-0 our score. One of those runs was unearned against Luna after a couple of infield throwing errors. Allowed Dowling and their aggressive base running to plate a couple of runs. But still very early in this one, the first of 2 at Principal Park. The right-hander Charlie Corral winds and fires. His first pitch is low to Deshaun Sharp. Sharp saw a full count back in the first inning, but went down on strikes swinging. The lefty checks his swing here, and that pitch misses up and away. And it's 2-0. Corral working quickly, as was Luna. Draws a swing and a miss here from Sharp. Aggressive with a 2-0 count, but did not get the pitch I think he was looking for. I think he was thinking more fastball. That one came in as a breaker. This 2-1 is the fastball, and it's high. We'll see how aggressive Sharp plays it on 3-1. And that one inside, and Deshaun Sharp gets himself on board via walk. So once again, Corral will have to try to work his way through an inning with runners on base, at least for right now. And these are the dangerous batters for the Rail Splitters. Sharp takes just a short lead over at first, as being held on. First pitch, that's outside, and it's 1-0. The senior second baseman, Reese Martin, we talked about his stats from last year. One of the top bats in this order, batted well over 400 as a junior last season, and led the team with 21 RBIs. He's up now with the runner on first and nobody out. First pitch. This second pitch, rather, is a pop-up, and it's going to be a short hop. That just had the runner. Oh, and they're not going to get the out. Second baseman, Adam Brauch, try to come in and make a catch on what was a little knuckler off the fists of Reese Martin. The runner, Deshaun Sharp, had nowhere to go. He basically had to stay there and freeze and wait and see if that ball was going to get caught. And then he slipped and fell down as he tried to turn and run to second when it did fall. But either way, it's going to go as an infield hit for Martin. And no error on the play since it was a hit. Corner at first base, Brandon Bickford is in just in case a little drag bunt going to be shown by the cleanup hitter Cooper King. He was hit by a pitch first time up. And with runners on first and second and nobody out after the little fumble by Brauch at second. An opportunity here is this one knocked down at the plate by Mullenbach. 1-1 the count with still no outs. Pretty good speed with Sharp at second and Martin at first. This pitch, it gets away, and it'll go all the way to the backstop. Both runners will advance on a wild pitch. So now Lincoln definitely has something cooking here in the third. Down by a pair with runners on second and third and nobody out. And we're going to get a mound visit here with Carell and the entire infield on what they're going to do. 2 balls, 1 strike here to King. Quick revisit of King's numbers last season. Also, a really reliable bat. 281 was the average, but a 400 on base. Led the team in walks drawn with 17 last season. He had 96 at-bats, 17 walks. Did strike out 20 times, but he drove in 13 runs, which was among the team high. Gets a little chat with Josh Klein down the third base line, and the entire infield and battery having a peek-see. And Brian Scrimmager, the home plate umpire, will come out and force the meeting to adjourn. First base is open. Brandon Canny is the on-deck hitter, if you're wondering. Canny last year was a .240 hitter. Might be a little bit more of a friendly matchup, if you will, but at the same time, this early in the game, you're going to try to get this out if you can, even if you do surrender a run. Corners are in at the edge of the grass, middle infield at normal depth as this pitch is fouled off, and it's 2-2. You're definitely not going to work around King now, but you certainly don't have to give him anything fat to hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Long look in here from Carell, and time is called. He's choked up a little bit on that bat. But make sure that he makes contact and tries to at least get the first of these 2 runs home. If he knocks it into the outfield, who knows? He might be able to score both of them and tie this game up in the third. Kick, 2-2, bounces in there. Good block by Mullenbach, keeps the runners where they are. And that'll make it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with still no outs. And we'll see what kind of pitch Carell brings here. A little bit of action now down in the bullpen for Dowling as Joe McCarger, a senior, loosening up. Swing and a miss up by the letters. Good pitch, high in the zone. King couldn't catch up with it. That is the 4th strikeout by Carell, and that one the biggest of them so far for the first out. And that'll bring up Canny, who was one of the strikeout victims earlier. Struck out swinging with a couple of runners on back in the first. Once again, the corners of the infield, Anderson at third and Bickford at first. On the edge of the grass, anything hit to them, they'll try to cut down the runner at home, or at least keep him at third. As there's a late swing that time by Canny on a pitch that was breaking back over the inside corner, but he couldn't make contact, and it's 0-1. Deshaun Sharp, the runner at third. Martin, the runner at second. The 0-1. There's a swing and a miss. This one off the outside corner. So Carell, again, coming up with his best pitches with runners in scoring position. 0-2 now to Canny with Sean Albright, the on-deck hitter. The 0-2, that just misses. That was close. It was a tough take for Canny, but a good eye. A pitch you could tell that Carell wanted but did not get. The 1-2 now on the way. This ball in play, just foul. Just a hair foul. Blake Anderson, the third baseman, has been hugging the line, so if he didn't get to it, you would figure it was fouled by a little bit, but it was a good 2-strike swing by Brandon Canny, and he'll stay alive. We'll do the 1-2 again. I would say that might have been 3 or 4 feet to the foul side of third base. We'll see if they go back to the inner half or they try to go back outside here against Canny. Carell once again sets and fires. Popped up. This is on the infield. Who's it going to be? It is Anderson, the third baseman, who squeezes it for the out. And that's the second out. No advancement, of course. And with 2 away, it's now up to the DH, Sean Albright. Albright listed as the designated hitter, batting for the pitcher, Nico Luna. Luna last year was one of the studs offensively, but as he pitches, at least while he's pitching, he will be hit for by Albright. Albright grounded to the right side. Adam Brock, the second baseman, 4-3. This one hit on a line out into right field. That's a base hit. One run will score, and they will hold the runner at third. Knocked down here by Molenbach at the plate, but it'll be an RBI single with 2 outs for Sean Albright, getting Lincoln on the board. First pitch, no doubt about it. Albright does what he's supposed to do. And now Hunter Walker, the senior right fielder who struck out swinging first time up, now has the tying run just 90 feet away here in the third. And he'll bat with 2 outs. It's a clutch at bat there by Albright with 2 away in the inning, making sure that Lincoln does get on the board and does not, for the third straight inning, strand a runner in scoring position without scoring. First pitch on the way. That one breaks back over the inside part of the plate, 0-1. Walker just saw 3 pitches first time up and went down on strikes. Of the swinging variety. This one in the dirt. Molenbach able to knock it down. 1-1. Albright is the runner at first base. Don't have any base running statistics for him from last year, and nothing was put in the book from Monday for Lincoln, but he does not have a large lead. There's a swing and a miss. 1 pitch away from straining the potential tying run at third base here for Charlie Carell. We mentioned Joe McCarger was getting some warm-up tosses in down the left field line in the bullpen. We would imagine there isn't a pitch count limit, at least rule-wise, as runner goes from first, but a swing and a miss by Walker ends the inning. But a 2-out RBI single by Sean Albright gets Lincoln on the board after 2.5. Dowling leads the Rail Splitters 2-1 right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Nico Luna out for his third inning of work. His team pulls him back within 1 run, 2-1. It'll be 2-3-4 here for Dowling. Sophomore Blake Anderson will lead off. He was hit by a pitch on a 3-0 count. First time up, back in the first. And he hits this one high in the air, left field, long run here for Caden Storm, and it's going to bounce off the base of the wall. Anderson on his way to second. He'll pull up there with a leadoff double, and the sophomore showing a little bit of oppo pop. Storm tried to get a read on that one. That just kept carrying. That's the one spot here today, at least with the wind blowing, where you would imagine that the ball is going to have some carry. The wind blowing probably about 20 to 25 miles an hour right now from the river out in right center field, straight down the left field line. If you hit it anywhere to the right side in the outfield, it's going to get knocked down. But when you kind of loop it into that left center field gap or over the left fielder's head, it will have a little bit of carry on it. And Storm was unable to track it down before it hit the base of the wall. So with Anderson at second, another left-handed batter is Hank Hamrick. He lines a single out into right field. Anderson is going to be sent home. The throw on the way, not in time. Ball squirts away on the throw home. Taking second is Hamrick, and immediately Dowling gets the run back as it's 3-1. So 2 pitches, 2 strong hits by the 2-3 hitters, Anderson and Hamrick. And again, aggressive base running from Mark Roaring and his team. This Dowling Catholic Maroon squad, as soon as they have had guys on, they have made it clear they're going to try to take every extra base and make the defense think about where the runners are. Have no error technically on the play, at least from my vantage point, is this pitch popped high in the air, left field. Storm running in, is there, makes the catch for the first out. So 3 pitches, 3 strong swings. This one is recorded as an out. What I was saying is Hamrick's advancement to second base will just be on the throw home. There will be no error in the book, at least from me. Mike's scorebook, of course, unofficial. The teams will keep track of their own stats, and typically we'll be putting them up on quickstatsiowa.com for all to see. 0 for 2 now. Bickford has flown out to the outfield twice. Nianti Gerke, the pitcher, or the batter rather, and he takes a strike here. He went down on strikes looking on a full count pitch back in the second. Oh, 0-1. Out of the stretch, this one high. And it's 1-1. It's been a tough few innings for Charlie Carell in terms of workload. It's thrown 62 pitches to this point. We'll get to the pitch count rules in a second, but I'll also tell you why it really doesn't matter if he throws another 30 pitches if he wanted to. This one misses. It's 2-1. So Iowa High School Athletic Association a few years back instituted a pitch count rule for the management of pitch counts for high school pitchers. And for 10th through 12th graders, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, most of the guys that we're going to be seeing in Class 4A ball throughout the year, they are under one set of circumstances. As this pitch outside and ball 4 taken, Gerke is aboard. That is a second walk issued by Nico Luna. If a pitcher throws 1 to 25 pitches in a day, he is not subject to any days off. He does not need a day of rest. So if he throws 25 or less pitches in a game, he will be available the next day if needed. As the batter, Charlie Carell, trying to help himself out, pops this one up. It looks like it could be playable near the dugout, and 2 players collide there, and it dropped harmlessly. It was a good effort by Deshaun Sharp. That is a long run for a first baseman to try to track down a fly pop-up. And that ball is straight up behind home plate. That is spinning all sorts of directions. I always talked about it as well. That catcher having to ditch a mass, dodge the batter, dodge the umpire, dodge any sort of bat that might be left by the batter as he runs to first base thinking it might go fair. So tough to locate, and not only to locate, but read the spin and then put himself in a position to squeeze it for an out. And then you talk about Sharp just trying to make a really long run and make the play. Those 2 guys collided as they dove for it, but were unable to make the out. Runner going toward third base, but that pitch inside, and it'll be a double steal here for Dowling as they continue to show a lot of aggressiveness on the base paths. Really wasn't a chance to make a throw, even he caught it cleanly for Brandon Chapman behind the plate. So now runners on second and third. Just the one out. Carell, this one high in the air into right field. It's a long run for Hunter Waka. He'll get there, though. Runner is going to tag. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it bounces in, and it gets away. Just a little short on the throw from Waka. It was going to be a close play. Hamrick scores on what will be a sacrifice fly. It was shallow in right field, but again, Mark Roaring challenging the Lincoln defenders to have to make plays across the diamond. Carell gets credit for the sac fly and RBI. And then that was when the ball squirted away. That'll be a tough E7 as Chapman couldn't keep it in front of him, and that's when Gerke decided to take off for third. This pitch high, 1-0 to Owen Brauch, who reached on an infield hit and would score last inning. Back to the pitch count rule. You have to take 1 day of rest off if you throw 40 pitches, or 26 to 40 pitches. That moves up to 2 days off in between 41 and 65 pitches in a day. 3 days off, 66 to 90, and 4 days off, 91 to 110, which is usually what you see in the majors. Player start, and then he'll get 4 days off. I'll try to manage that and keep your pitching staff intact as best you can throughout a week. Takes a little bit of navigating from a coaching staff as this one misses and count 3-1 with 2 outs and a runner on third. Dowling a 4-1 lead, having scored 2 in the second and 2 here in the third. Luna winds and fires. This ball hammered out in the center, but the wind kind of helping knock it down. Canny is there, and he'll make the play for the third out. But a couple of strong hits and a couple of runs scored, and Dowling, after 3, leads Lincoln 4-1 here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
3 innings is all we'll see from Charlie Carell. His day is done on the mound. Joe McCarger, who we did see warming up in the bullpen, will come in. I was going to tell you, last half inning, didn't really get around to it, but only 62 pitches were thrown for Carell, which is a lot for 3 innings. But since Dowling just has games on Friday, as soon as he went past 40 pitches, he was not going to be available for Friday's games anyway. If he wanted to stay in the game and continue to pitch, if he was pitching effectively, and the coaching staff didn't mind how many innings he were to throw, then it really wouldn't affect his availability leading up all the way to Monday when they would play again. But especially early in the season, you will see a lot of coaches err on the side of using guys less. Just make sure they don't wear their arms out, and always, especially third time through. We're getting close to a third time through. In fact, we're going to start the third time through the order here for Lincoln. And batting averages just go up and up the more times batters see a pitcher. But Carell, 3 innings of work. He did allow 4 hits, 1 run. It was an earned run. He walked 2 and struck out 5, throwing 62 pitches, 38 were strikes, and 24 were balls. Heading to the top of the 4th inning, it will be 8-9-1 for the Rails. Camden Walker will lead it off, followed by Brandon Chapman, and then Caden Storm. A little cue shot foul, right side. 0-1. Joe McCarger, last year, just 1 pitching appearance. It was a start and it was a win. He went 5 innings of work, did not allow an earned run, didn't allow any runs. Opponents just hit 150 against him, but that was the only time that you would see Joe McCarger as a pitcher at the varsity level for Dowling last year as a junior. So now as a senior, he did appear in 1 inning of work on Monday, as this is ground ball, just foul. Not by much, but it was. Walker will come back. This is still going to be an 0-2 count. McCarger did show up for 1 inning of work. Did hit a batter, but didn't allow a hit, so he faced just 4 batters and threw 19 pitches. Those 19 pitches kept him under that 25-pitch mark, so even if they wanted to use him on Tuesday, he was legal to use. And here he is in his 2nd relief appearance of the season in just the 3rd game. This ball hit in the air in the center. Coming on, Derek Einertson, my mistake, and he makes the catch for the first out. You can kind of see, it's a cavernous outfield. This is as large as any outfield you're going to see at high school ranks. 335 down the line, 400 straightaway center field. It plays big. It fans out real nice into the gaps as well. And then you have the high wall all the way across. Keeps a lot of balls in the yard that would be hit that far anyway. But with the wind especially blowing from the river and right center field, anything hit to center, right field is going to get knocked down, and that's why you see the outfielders for the most part having to come in and make plays in the shallow outfield, whereas the balls that we've seen hit toward left field have carried a little bit more because the wind isn't directly knocking them down. 1-0 here to the 9-hitter, the catcher, Brandon Chapman. He'll take another one, 2-0. He singled into left field back in the second, and if you missed it, you subscribe to us here on CISN, you got to go back to the first inning. He made an incredible sliding catch from behind the plate just in front of the Dowling dugout on the third base side. As there's a strike, 2-1. It was a pop-up. He had no idea where it was, shed the mask, was looking around for it, saw it as it was on its way down, sprinted over toward the dugout and made a sliding grab to finish the out. That's probably going to be one of the best defensive plays you're going to see all year from a backstop in high school baseball here in the state of Iowa. 3-1 the count here from McCarger, and he delivers a strike there on the knees, and it's full, 3-2. Pretty nice crowd on hand here. Social distancing is in effect. Masks have been encouraged but not required, and especially with the sun out and people able to kind of spread each other out. Don't see very many masks being worn, at least by the spectators. This 3-2 is high in the air on the infield. Second baseman Adam Brauch is there. He makes the play. 2 quick outs here for Joe McCarger, and that'll bring up Caden Storm, the leadoff batter for the Rail Splitters. He is 1 for 2. Singled down the left field line to start the game in the first, and then popped up. Charlie Corelli was the pitcher, made a nice basket catch with a couple of runners on to get out of a jam back in the second. First pitch on the way from McCarger, and a little drag bunt being shown, or a push bunt, if you will, down the first base line, but it goes foul, 0-1. Now, the social distancing, there are zip ties on various seats that are not being utilized. Just make sure that people keeping their distance, and that's one of the regulations or the things that was put in place by Governor Kim Reynolds, the Iowa High School Athletic Association, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Make sure we can play ball here this summer. 1-1 here. The Storm, that's well outside, and it's 2-1. Iowa already is the only state in the union that plays summer baseball and softball. Everybody else plays fall ball or spring ball or some combination of the two. But the real interesting part of this is there's a swing and a miss here by Storm. It's 2-2. The real interesting part is this is the first high school activities in sports that we have seen in the entire United States since the middle of March, when everything got shut down toward the end of the basketball season and before spring sports really could even get started. As the tag is going to be applied on that ball in the dirt, Storm, a little half swing, could not check it up, and he goes down on strikes. First strikeout for McCarger and a 1-2-3 inning for him. We're halfway home in game 1 of our doubleheader. It is Dowling 4, Lincoln 1, here live on CISN.
In a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. Depending on damage, most new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value, with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Shunkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
The day is done on the mound for Nico Luna. He throws 49 pitches, but that again will render him unavailable for Friday's game. As soon as you usurp 40 pitches, you need at least 2 days rest, which includes Friday. So Luna will be unavailable to pitch until Monday, but we very well could see him at the plate. He was an excellent hitter last year for Lincoln, and was listed in the batting order. We'll see if he's going to kind of retake that spot for the DH Sean Albright, but that's to be seen. First things first, Carter Storm is going to be the new righty that comes into the game wearing those stirrup socks. An excellent look. Storm not utilized at the varsity level last year. We only have last season stats for Lincoln. The first pitch, Enertson straight up the gut for a single. Derek Enertson now 1 for 2. Did have an RBI ground out first time up, but now he singles to start the bottom of the 4th inning. Final line on Nico Luna, 3 innings of work, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, 2 walks, a strikeout. As mentioned, he threw those 49 pitches. Not a great ratio, just 24 strikes, 25 balls, but he was able to work out of some trouble for the most part. A lot of those innings of play, but exited with a 4-1 deficit for the Rail Splitters. Quick peek over to first base as Enertson already kind of had a nice lead building up there as Deshaun Sharp holds him on. Get another baseball in play. One of the other things that we're doing with COVID-19 concerns and protocols is the team in the field is the only ones that handle the baseballs at a time. So when Lincoln is out there, they have their own set of baseballs that they'll use. And when Dowling is out there, they have their own set of baseballs that they'll use. And on balls that are out of play, when they get returned to a dugout, they have to be returned to that specific team's dugout. Jason Moist, the 9-hitter, takes up high, and it's 1-0. Moist, nice at bat first time up, back in the second. Drew a walk. And again, they want a new baseball. Obviously, from our vantage point up here, we're not going to be able to know exactly why they changed out baseballs a couple of times in one pitch, but could be pitcher preference, could be a scuff. Umpires say doesn't like the baseball. Could be all sorts of stuff, but Moist will take a strike here, 1-1. 2 in the second, 2 in the third, scored by the Maroons. 1 run for Lincoln was scored back in the third. Enertson over at first base, pretty good lead. Out of the stretch, this pitch just high, and it's 2-1. Hard to know what the availability of various arms for Lincoln is. We did not get any statistics, including pitch counts for Lincoln from Monday's doubleheader where they played Southeast Polk at home. Moist gets a good hack on this one and fires it foul down the right field line. Out of play. It's 2-2. We are going to play a second game between these two teams today. And then both these teams have scheduled doubleheaders on Friday. So that one misses 3-2. Chapman getting a little bit of a workout back there. Not just having to make defensive plays or attempted defensive plays, but also blocking some pitches in the dirt, try to keep runners where they're at. And now a 3-2 count. The second time Moist has worked the count full. This delivery is up and away, and for the second time, Moist draws a walk. So that's good production out of the 9 spot. To be able to get a guy who can work the count full and then get himself on base. And that will bring up the top of the order in Adam Brauch. Brauch is 0 for 2. He grounded a short in the first and then flew out to center in the second, but now he's got runners on first and second and nobody out. Home plate umpire Brian Scrimmager just moving, I think. There is a rosin bag out there that I'm sure Storm brought out there himself, and it looks like there is something else maybe for spikes, or it's hard to tell, but home plate umpire Brian Scrimmager just kind of moves it and repositions it behind the mound where it likely will be safe from any balls being hit that direction. First pitch misses 1-0. Blowing in 15 to 20 miles an hour as this one pulled foul by Brauch, and it's 1-1. Beautiful LED light system from Musco in Oskaloosa, a worldwide leader in sports lighting. Do it better than anybody else. Those lights, all you got to do is flip a switch and they are on and they are ready to go. Probably will not be needing the lights until at the earliest the start of Game 2 tonight. With summer solstice just a few days away. It's 2-1 now to Brauch. Summer solstice is the longest day of the year in terms of the sun being above the horizon. So it doesn't get fully dark until after 9 p.m. As there's a foul shot right off the edge of the bat. It's 2-2. Working out of the stretch, a couple of runners on here. Coming set is Storm and fires. This one a line drive. This is going to destine for outfield gap. I'll get down. One run will score, and on the throw home, taking second base is Adam Brauch. And it'll be a single. He'll advance to second on the throw. An RBI for Brauch as he looped one out in the right center field in the gap. Enertson scored. Moise goes first to third. And it's now 5-1 in favor of Dowling. And now with ducks on the pond, runners at second and third, and nobody out. And the first pitch popped up, foul ground, and that looks like it's unplayable, and it will be. Blake Anderson, 0-1 the count. Anderson, the sophomore, was hit by a pitch back in the first, and then on the first pitch he saw in the third, laced a double over the head of Caden Storm in left field, and eventually would come around and score. Got an opportunity for some RBIs here, but he swings through that Storm delivery, and it's quickly 0-2. Carter Storm comes on in relief, immediately finds himself trying to limit some damage here. Righty versus lefty typically favors the batter a little bit, as that's fouled straight back, and that'll bounce off the front of the awning and drops into the stands. We'll do the 0-2 again. Hank Hamrick already has an RBI and a run scored. He's on deck, another left-handed batter here for the Maroons. One misses, it's 1-2. With runners on second and third, nowhere really for him to go. Storm gets the chance to work out of the windup. This one popped foul again, and this one again will find the seats. And will be caught by an Iowa Cubs worker wearing his mask, kind of helping people out here on the concourse. Nice play by him with the bare hands. This delivery. Anderson pokes this one out in the center. It's a long run for Canny. He can't get to it. One run will score. A second run will be sent home. He will score without a throw. Anderson wants three. The throw, not going to be in time. It's going to get off the facing of the dugout, stay in play. Give him an RBI triple. Blake Anderson, the sophomore, having a good offensive game. Give him two or knocked in as well. And now Dowling has opened up a 7-1 lead. That one carried more than anything that we've seen hit out to center so far in this one. Canny was on the run. Just could not quite reach it out in the left center field gap. Both runners could stay close to their bags and still have plenty of time to come around and score. And now Anderson stands at third base with still nobody out. Another big bat in Hank Hamrick at the plate. Storm. His first pitch is popped foul off the fist and out of play. 0-1 the count. Hamrick 1 for 2 popped up in foul ground. That was an amazing catch. That was made by Brandon Chapman, ranging toward the Dowling dugout, sliding and making the play. And then in the third, on the first pitch he saw, he singled out in the right for an RBI and would eventually come around to score. He'll take this pitch just off the outside corner, and it's 1-1. 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 here in the fourth for Dowling. And they want some more. Anderson, the runner at third. This Paul up and high. A little bit outside, and Chapman reels it in to keep it. A runner at third base in Anderson. A little bit of action down there in the bullpen. It looks like Jeffrey Powell is loosening up for Lincoln, should they need him here in this inning. This is popped foul. That'll be well out of play as Sharp gives it a look, but he's in the second section of seating on the right side. As mentioned, pretty solid crowd here. This game moved to Principal Park, part of the Iowa Soybean Association Summer Series. Iowa Cubs hosting some high schools here at Principal Park. This popped straight up. Who's it going to be? Nobody taking charge yet, and it will be Storm, the pitcher, who eventually says, I got it, and makes the play halfway between the mound and home plate. And that is a very important first out. But it doesn't get easier here for Carter Storm. Brandon Bickford, another big run producer in the middle of this order. Even though he's 0 for 2, he's hit the ball hard both times. Flew out to center and then flew out to left. Got a runner at third base and an opportunity here. Try to get a run knocked in. He'll stare at the first pitch right down the pipe. 0-1 the count. Shadows a little bit starting to show up as the sun gets behind us here on the third base side. The 0-1 over the head, gets away. Anderson got a great jump, and he will score. Anderson did not decide to slide there, which was an interesting call, and Storm trying to cover. Had his glove actually knocked off by Anderson as he crossed home plate as he was trying to field the throw home by Chapman. It'll be a wild pitch. Anderson will score. Little League has a must-slide rule. High school baseball does not have a must-slide rule. The safety, of course, of the fielders and the runners is a throw likely is going to be a part of the play. The idea is that if the runner is forced to slide in those lower levels, they aren't going to have any collisions. As this is a running bunt attempt, and it's done about as good as you can. Storm does a good job in making sure it doesn't leak out into the outfield. But that push bunt by your cleanup hitter, Brandon Bickford, was about as perfect as it can be, and it'll be an infield bunt hit. Bickford will exit, be run for here by Austin Klein. This, in my book, is technically a pinch runner. Bickford does have one re-entry. Every player that gets lifted, either in the field, at the plate, on the base paths, they have one re-entry unless they are a pitcher or catcher. Then they have unlimited re-entry. So it'll be interesting to see if Bickford might get called on to pitch at some point. But at least for now, it'll be Austin Klein running at first. Want to know the count? To Nianti Gerke. 2-0 the count. Gerke 0 for 1, struck out looking in the second and then drew a walk, stole a base back in the third. And Chapman is going to jog out and chat with his pitcher. As it looks like Jeffrey Powell, who was warming up in the Lincoln bullpen, looks like he's ready and is returned to his dugout. 8-1 our score. Dowling a 4-run fourth. Still just one out and a runner at first base. Gerke is the seventh batter of the frame for the Maroons. Quick peek at first base, a fake throw. With Dowling and their aggressive base running we have seen all game long, got to keep an eye on him, and he goes. That pitch is a strike high, and that ball will bounce in. Good backup there by Camden Waka on the throw that got away from Martin. Not allowing the runner to think about going to third, but for Austin Klein, that is a stolen base. So now a runner in scoring position here in a 2-1 count to Gerke. That pitch, this is outside, and it is 3-1. I mentioned those shadows. They are going to be a factor probably a little sooner rather than later, at least for the batter. as the 3-1 on the way. A swing and a miss here by Gerke, and it's 3-2. Everything on the left side, infield, in the stands and the Dowling dugout, including the on-deck circle and the third base coach's box, pretty much covered in the shadows, and that'll eventually move over across the third base line and the batter's box. Big swing and a miss. Gerke comes up empty, and that's the second out, an important strikeout there for Carter Storm. And with 2 away, it'll be up to Charlie Carell, who will bat. He started the game as the pitcher. And we'll take his at-bat here after being lifted. We did not see him out in the field, but he does have a re-entry, so even though he was removed, he can bat for himself in that spot as he fouls this one down the right field line and out of play over the extended screen. 0-1. Carell is 1 for 1. Singled up the middle. His courtesy runner, Ramel Hernandez, scored a run back in the second. And then Carell hit a sacrifice fly in a shallow right field. And Mark Roaring at third base, just testing the arms of Lincoln, was able to send his runner home, and he bang play. The ball bounced in and allowed the runner to score. Another quick peek by Storm to second. Now he'll deliver, and this one low and away, and it's 1-1. It's been a busy inning for Storm, just trying to eat the rest of this inning, get a third out, get the bats back up there, see if anything can happen. I would think we'll see Joe McCarger out there for another inning of work for Dowling, but you never know. This pitch, ground ball, left side, and it kicks off of the glove of Camden Walker. He kept it in front of him, but he could not keep it in front of him to the point where he could make a play to first. That's a tough play. It's a play that he'd say he'd like to make, but with the speed down to first base, I'm going to give an infield hit in my book, at least for Carell. And that will do it for Storm. He will be lifted here. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll meet the new pitcher, Jeffrey Powell, in a moment. It is 8-1 Dowling over Lincoln here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Jeffrey Powell is warming up on the hill after getting loose down in the Lincoln bullpen. Carter Storm is responsible for the runners on first and third. That was a play to Camden Walker, the shortstop, that it's a slow roller bouncing ball. He deals with the runner crossing in front of him. The runner, Austin Klein, was right in front of him as he tried to field that ball. At least from my vantage point, that's a tough ask for a shortstop, not only to make that play on the run, throw out a speedy runner, and Carell running down to first base. But then on top of that, you know, field a bouncing ball cleanly, transfer, throw to first, and get the out. It's just a tough play. I know that if you ask Camden Walker, he'll say he should make that play, but as far as me in the booth, that is an infield hit. So for Carter Storm, that's 2/3 of an inning of work, 5 hits, at least in my book. Still waiting on the runners at first and third, and he walked one and struck out one. Ninth batter of the inning, Owen Brauch. And the first pitch is in the dirt, 1-0. Brauch is 1 for 2 at an infield hit and scored a run in the second, and then in the third, flew out to center. Here in the bottom of the fourth, Dowling already has 4 runs across. They lead it 8-1. They got runners on the corners and 2 outs. That ball roped out into left field. That'll be a base hit. Another run will come in. Carell will pull up at second. An RBI single for Owen Brock. So for the second time in the frame, Derek Enertson gets the call. He is 1 for 2, an RBI, run scored, or single to lead off this inning, and then scored that run. He's got runners on first and second, and still 2 outs, and he'll take a strike here from Powell, and it's 0-1. Powell's no action last year. Not sure if he worked on Monday. A little buggy whip arm action. That one 1-1. Everybody's got their own delivery, and that certainly could be deceiving for the batter to kind of see that arm kind of double clutch on its way home. He checks second, kicks, and fires. That ball hit in the air. Brandon Canny under it, and makes the catch. You could say canny of corn, if you will, for the third out. So 10 coming to the plate, 5 score, 9-1. Dowling has opened it up. They'll head to the top of the 5th. Lincoln will try to get something going with the big bats coming up right after this on Central Iowa Sports Network.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
We do see Charlie Carell playing first base. We did mention that we had not seen him defensively, but the adjustments that were made, Brandon Bickford slid down, and he is the catcher, which is why he was courtesy run for. Grant Mullenbach served as the catcher for Carell when he was out there for his 3 innings. When Carell was lifted, he moved over to first base for Bickford. Bickford moved behind the plate. Joe McCarger slid in. Does not affect the DH, does not affect any of the lineup, but it just allows Brandon Bickford to have the courtesy runner, which is why Austin Klein was out there running and scored a run for him back in that first inning of relief for Joe McCarger. Speaking of which, he's out there for a second inning of relief. As this first pitch is a strike to Deshaun Sharp. Sharp 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the first and then drew a walk and scored the lone run of the game for Lincoln back in the third. Big hack, no contact. Quickly 0-2 here to Sharp. The book officially closed on Carter Storm on the hill for Lincoln. We'll get to his final line in a moment. This one outside. 1-2. Final line for Storm for Lincoln. 2/3 of an inning of work, 5 hits, 5 runs. All were earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He threw 36 pitches, 21 were strikes, and 15 were balls. He will be available for Lincoln on Friday if they need him to work on the mound. As this one is swing and a miss. Deshaun Sharp down on strikes for the second time. And that's the second strikeout from McCarger in relief. That brings up Reese Martin, number 3 hitter for the Rail Splitters. No, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Dominic Sapali will hit from the left side. So Sapali coming on. Reese Martin batted in this number 3 hole. First pitch, a strike, 0-1. Second pitch is down and away. It's 1-1. No numbers on Sapali from last season for Lincoln at the varsity level. Outfield came a couple of steps in here. This one popped up, foul, and that one will hit off the top of the roof here and drop down. It's 1-2. Cooper King, who was the scheduled hitter to bat third here this inning, he is in the on-deck circle. Top of the 5th inning, it is Dowling, a 9-1 lead. 9 runs on 9 hits by my count. They have not committed an error so far. 1 run on 4 hits. 3 errors by my count for Lincoln defensively. It is 2-2 now to Sapali. Josh Klein probably just trying to get some guys some at-bats here. Never know how often you're going to get a chance to play some games at Principal Park. A AAA gym here for the Iowa Cubs as there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Third straight strikeout going back to last inning here from Carger, and he has retired the first 5 he's seen. He'll try to make it 6 for 6 as the cleanup man, Cooper King, strides to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the first, and then he struck out swinging back in the third. Both of those at-bats came against starter Charlie Carell. 2 outs. Nobody on in the pitch. Comes right across the plate for strike 1. You can see McCarger's got a good repertoire. We mentioned last year just used 1 time as a starter. Pitched 5 innings but was good in that outing. So that pitch gets a little check swing, but no go when it's a little inside, maybe low, and it's 1-1. McCarger, as mentioned, did serve 1 inning of relief on Monday. As this ball hammered, maybe got a piece, or almost got a piece of Josh Klein down the third base line. And it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. The kick, McCarger's pitch, bounces in, and it's 2-2. Those shadows we talked about last half inning are now have reached the third base line, at least next to third base. Probably by next half inning, you're going to start seeing it engulf home plate. As that one is buried in the dirt, about a 55-footer there from McCarger, and that runs the count full 3-2. 1 out. No one on base here for Lincoln. The kick and the payoff pitch. It's a ground ball, slowly hit, third base. It is fair. Fielded by Anderson. Long throw, not going to be in time. That's an infield hit. This grass plays pretty slow, and when it bounces 3 or 4 times, it loses and scrubs off a lot of that energy as it heads down to first base. By the time Anderson even had a chance to field that and unleash as strong a throw as he could come up with, there was not going to be a chance for him to get Cooper King at first, and that'll keep the inning alive for number 5 hitter Brandon Canny. Canny 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the first and then popped out to third in the third. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes the ball just outside. It's 1-0. And, of course, the announcer Jeeks in full effect here in the early portion of the season. As soon as I say 5 for 5, 5 batters up, 5 batters down for McCarger. He allows a softly hit infield single to third. This one, hard hit over the head of Anderson at third base. This one, no cheap infield hit for him. This one, on just 1 or 2 hops, gets over Anderson's head as he had to play in after Canny showed bunt the first pitch of the AB. So this single puts runners on first and second, and a chance here for Lincoln to maybe put a little 2-out rally together and plate some runs and crawl back into this ball game down by 8. First pitch fooled Sean Albright. Swings and misses for a strike. 0-1. Albright is 1 for 2. Grounded his second in the second, and then in the third, an RBI single through the hole. On the right side, going the other way with it. That one misses, and it's 1-1. 2 outs, 2 on. Second baseman Adam Brauch wants to chat with the battery just momentarily here. They're going to adjourn their little meeting. Got a first, second, or third here if you're an infielder. Albright back in the box. 1-1 is the count to him. His team trailing 9-1. The delivery. And that ball will rope out into shallow center field, and that's going to drop. Runner's going to come home. The throw from center, from Enertson, not going to be in time, and taking third as well is Brandon Canny. How about Sean Albright? 2 runs scored, both driven in by the DH. So the 2-out rally does prove to be fruitful on the scoreboard here for the Rail Splitters. And Hunter Waka will come up. He'll be looking to try to do the same. He's 0 for 2, struck out swinging twice, both against Charlie Carell, the Dowling starter. With runners on the corners on first and third, and we'll see if there's any weird base running plays that Coach Josh Klein wants to utilize. Is that pitch in there for his strike? 0-1. Still a long way to go if you're Lincoln here, but with 3 hits back-to-back here with 2 outs in this inning, something to build off of at least. As that pitch had Waka bailing out in the back leg and then trying to swing last minute as he saw that thing break right across the plate. It's a good breaking ball from Joe McCarger. Now 0-2 here to Waka. The delivery, swing and a miss, and got him fooled on the outside corner again. Strike 3. Third time Waka's gone down on strikes. 4th strikeout for McCarger in relief. A little 2-out rally does play to run for Lincoln, but they still trail Dowling 9-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Dowling leads 9-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Do want to remind you we'll have plenty of action coming up on Friday as part of our all-season-long coverage. High school baseball and softball here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Roosevelt taking on Waukee. Also going to have some Hoover and Ankeny action. 5 select schools from around the metro going to be covered with each and every one of our broadcasts Monday, Wednesday, and Friday throughout the season. On Roosevelt, Waukee, Hoover, and Ankeny, the 2 matchups you'll see on CISN.TV. You can watch live. $30 gives you a whole season pass. $5 for a single game. We appreciate you for being a part of our coverage on maybe the most grateful of baseball and softball seasons we've seen here in the state of Iowa. Jeffrey Powell's back out for his first full inning of action, or at least he's going to start this inning. His team trailing 9-2. Number 9 hitter Jason Moist is up, and he'll take ball 1 to start the frame. Moist, no official at-bat despite 2 plate appearances. He has worked 2 full counts, and he's worked walks twice. Also scored a run last inning. This one squirts all the way to the backstop, and it's 2-0. Infield, outfield, pretty much straight up. They put a big gap out there in right center field, expecting Moist to pull. Center fielder Brandon Canny a few steps toward left center field. This pitch crosses the outside edge of the corner, and it's 2-1. Moist will be followed by Adam Brauch and Blake Anderson, as we'll flip it back over to the top after this batter. Powell winds up and fires. This ball poked in foul territory. Run over by the dugout. Nice running catch made by Deshaun Sharp for the first out of the inning. We've seen pretty good defensive plays. I know there are 3 errors on the board, at least on my book, for Lincoln here in the first 4+ innings, but saw some great plays from Brandon Chapman, blocking balls, made that sliding catch toward the dugout back in the first inning. There's an excellent play by Deshaun Sharp, ranging into foul territory. That'll bring up the top of the order, and Adam Brauch. First pitch, a strike, 0-1. At this point, down by 7 runs, Jeffrey Powell's just trying to eat a couple of innings here. Powell fires. This one comes in high, 1-1. Pitch count for Joe McCarger. The senior in relief after he gave up 1 run, 3 straight hits in that 5th inning, his second inning of work. He is at 38 pitches. This one goes under the glove at third base. It is Cameron Amos who's out there at third, instead of Cooper King. So that'll be a hit for me. That one scalded on the ground over to third. Brauch reaches at first. I mentioned that 38 pitch count for Joe McCarger, because 38 pitches would put him under that 40 mark, which would give him an opportunity to be available on Friday. As soon as he goes over 40, he would not be available until Saturday, and of course, no game Saturday or Sunday for Dowling. McCarger would not be able to be used until Monday against Valley. Showing bunt, laying one down. This one is going to go foul. A little small ball being shown by Blake Anderson, a guy who's hit the ball hard a couple of times. 0-1, he'll come back. Anderson's just a sophomore at third base. He was hit by a pitch in the first and then doubled off the wall in the second and then hit a triple out in the left center field. 2 RBIs. He scored twice as well. Good young player. One of the few sophomores that you're going to see at this level. But you got a good one. You got to get him out there on the field, and that's what we see here in Blake Anderson. It's 1-1. Right-handed batter's box, a little bit in the shadows. By next half inning, that entire batter's box area, all of home plate likely is going to be under, as that one misses. 2-1. Reason that makes a difference for the batter, it may not make a difference for everybody, but it's always a little bit tricky when you see the ball go from light into the shadows. So this is fouled straight back. 2-2 as the runner was on the move. Brauch on the pitch. Mark Roaring, head coach, also down there at third base for Dowling, has absolutely been, as far as, I mean, as aggressive base running strategy as you could imagine, as this is fouled straight back again. Anderson's got Powell's timed up pretty well here. He's just underneath some of the action. Maybe thinking a little bit more break, but, or just can't quite square it up. The runner on first, 1 out. 2-2 is the count here to the sophomore. This one outside, taking off late for second base and stealing the bag is Brauch. Just kind of did not appear like he was going to steal that base immediately, but then took off full speed late. And by the time that Chapman got out of the squat and looked down there, he had the base stolen. Full count now to Anderson. Powell's on the delivery. This is a ground ball through the hole right side. Roaring is going to send his man Brauch. The throw on its way to the plate will not be in time, bounces away. That'll allow the runner Anderson to take second, and now he's going to take off for third. He'll get there. You're not going to see a more aggressive team on the base paths than you're seeing from Dowling here in game one of our doubleheader. They dared Hunter Walker to throw the ball home. It was going to be a close play at the plate, but again, just bounced. Chapman couldn't keep it in front of him. That's another tough luck E7, which allows Anderson to go all the way from first to third. And now it is 10-2 with a runner on third and one out for Hank Hamrick. First one misses, 1-0. No action in either bullpen. As I mentioned, if Dowling does get 2 more runs here in the bottom of the 5th, that will be a run rule, and that would end the game where we're at. If not, it would be interesting to see if Joe McCarger goes out to pitch another inning of work. If he throws 3 more pitches, he would be unavailable for Friday's doubleheader at Mason City. 2-0 here to Hamrick. Brandon Bickford, functioning as the catcher right now, is the on-deck hitter as well here. Powell sets, kicks, fires. And that one just misses at the top of the zone, and it's 3-0. Anderson, great speed over at third base. This one up and away, and it'll be a 4-pitch walk. Hamrick is aboard. That does at least put the double play in order. It's the first walk issued by Jeffrey Powell since coming on in relief. Sharp, first baseman, comes to the edge of the grass now after Bickford's last at bat. Bickford laid down a push bunt to the right side and was able to leg it out for an infield hit. His courtesy runner, Austin Klein, would score later in the frame. Big lead over there by Hamrick, and he'll go on the first pitch. It gets away. Anderson does not get a good read on it, however, and he'll have to stay at third. It will be a stolen base in the book for Hamrick, however. So, interesting about that, if that ball goes anywhere else besides the angle that it went, it was basically parallel in line with the third base line. It's really hard for that runner at third to read that because you just can't see exactly how far away from the catcher it is. Probably would have had an opportunity to go if he would have got a better read on it, but just could not tell how far away it leaked away from Brandon Chapman behind the plate. If that ball is straight back, if it is up the first base line, if it's towards him, he's probably going to have a good read and take off as soon as he sees that one get away. Quickly 2-0 here to Bickford as Powell's having trouble relocating the zone. The potential game-ending run now in scoring position at second base as 10 runs. The deficit after 5 innings of play, that is an official game in high school baseball, and we would take a break before we play game 2. Powell's trying to work out of that and at least give his guys an opportunity here to bat in the 6th. But good speed with Hamrick at second, Anderson at third, and Bickford the batter. We'll see if he's taking all the way in 3-0. He is, and that misses, or actually it hits the knees. Good pitch from Powell's to get one over. 3-1. Bickford is 1 for 3. Had that bunt single last time up in the 4th, but flew out to center and left in the 3rd. And he'll foul this one. Bouncing. Unplayable, of course, on the third base line. And it's full, 3-2. 1 out, runners on second and third. Beautiful night at Principal Park. Iowa Cubs hosting the Iowa Soybean Association Summer Series, inviting several high schools to take part in games on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at Principal Park, while the Iowa Cubs and the rest of organized baseball at the professional level struggle to get their season underway. Here's the 3-2. Powell's kicks, fires. That one in the dirt. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks, loads them up. Austin Klein will indeed come back to be the courtesy runner for his catcher, Brandon Bickford. That is a run that really does not matter as we got a pinch hitter here for Dowling. Leo Morrow is going to bat for Nianti Gerke. So an opportunity for Leo Morrow a senior. Infield in on the corners. They're going to come home with anything for a force out as Morrow takes strike one. Morrow, 1 for 2 at the plate with an RBI. Also struck out once and walked once. As that misses, it's 1-1. Well, actually did not walk once, so struck out once and hit a double in his 2 plate appearances as part of the doubleheader sweep against Des Moines North on Monday. The 1-1. They'll take this one outside, and it's 2-1. The on-deck hitter would be Ben Morrow. So the Morrow seniors going back-to-back here, assuming Leo doesn't finish the game here. 2-1, that's foul tipped, straight back, and it's 2-2. The entire home plate area for the most part now is in those shadows. The ball doesn't really go from light to dark, though, until it just gets in front of the plate. Should not really affect the batters. And the way the angle kind of is, it probably, not for very long even, be an issue where the pitcher is starting his delivery in light and it goes through the shadows. This ball swung on and flared foul, right side, out of play, and it's 2-2. Wind still pretty consistently blowing from right center field toward the left field corner. Outfielders are very deep, and the ground ball through the infield into the outfield, likely not going to have a shot at getting the runner out at home as that pitch just misses high. Powell's wanted that one, could not get the call from Brian Scrimmager behind home plate, and that'll make it full. 3-2 the count with 1 out and nowhere to put him as the bases are juiced. The payoff pitch on the way, and that's low and away, and that's ball 4. So 3 straight walks. Several close pitches from Powell's, just cannot get a call. It'll be an RBI base on balls. So Leo Morrow at first after the walk. Klein advances to second. Hamrick over to third. Hamrick, that runner at third base, would be the game-ending run as it's now 11-2. Ben Morrow will try to end it here. Corners the infield in as well. They'll try to cut down the runner at home as the first pitch in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Ben Morrow hitting for Charlie Corral, who went 2 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and RBI, and his courtesy runner Ramel Hernandez scored a run. The 0-1. This one in the dirt. Nice block there by Chapman. 1-1. Yeah, if he lets that one get away, that runner at third base likely is going to take off and try to score and finish this one up in 5. One ball, one strike, and the pitch. That ball laced out into left field, and that will drop, and that'll do it. Hamrick will score, and that will make it a 12-2 final as Dowling picks up game 1 as Ben Morrow gets the RBI single to finish the first of our doubleheader here at Principal Park. Dowling's bats really woke up late in the game, and we're able to finish this one off by scoring 3. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give you the full line score as Dowling takes the first of our double dip, 12-2 over Lincoln, right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
In a recent spring storm, a freak tornado formed and moved through the north side of Shunkirk-Chevy-Waukee. Depending on damage, most new vehicles with minor cosmetic imperfections. Affected new Chevys will be sold for thousands below market value, with a limited number of storm-damaged vehicles available. Time is of the essence to take advantage of this opportunity. You get the rebates and discounts. Now take thousands more off storm-damaged vehicles. Limited time savings. Shunkirk-Chevy-Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Your final score in game number one, it's Dowling Catholic 12, Lincoln 2. Dowling moves to 3-0 on the season. Lincoln is 0-3. We'll go ahead and give you the numbers here real quick for these two teams. About a half-hour break in between the two games, and we'll play another one here as we get under the lights at Principal Park, home of the Iowa Cubs, as part of the Iowa Soybean Association Summer Series. Dowling scores 12 runs on 13 hits, no defensive errors, left 5 on base. Lincoln 2 runs on 7 hits. They did have 4 defensive errors by my count. 8 were left on base offensively for the Rail Splitters. The winning pitcher was Charlie Corelli's 1-0 on the season. Nico Luna picks up the loss for Lincoln. He's 0-1. Game time, 1 hour and 50 minutes. For Lincoln offensively, 1 for 3 for Caden Storm at the top of the order. Deshaun Sharp went 0 for 2, but did score a run after a walk. Reese Martin went 1 for 2. Dominique Sapali as a pinch hitter went 0 for 1. Cooper King went 1 for 2 with a run scored. Brandon Canny went 1 for 3. Sean Albright, the DH, went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, the 2 RBIs in the game for the Rail Splitters. Hunter Walker went 0 for 3. Camden Walker 0 for 1 with a walk. And Brandon Chapman went 1 for 2 with a single. On the mound, Nico Luna went 3 innings of work, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 were earned with 2 walks and a strikeout. Carter Storm went 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned with 1 walk and a strikeout. And Jeffrey Powell's 1 inning of work with 4 hits, 3 runs, all 3 were earned with 3 walks, no strikeouts. Storm and Powell's would theoretically be available to pitch on Friday in the doubleheader that Lincoln is scheduled to play against Valley at home. Nico Luna would not be available until next Monday. For Dowling, 2 for 4 for Adam Brauch with 2 runs scored and an RBI at the top of the Maroon order. Blake Anderson, the sophomore, what a game for him. 3 for 3, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. He also was hit by a pitch. Hank Hamrick in the 3 slot went 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Brandon Bickford went 1 for 3 in the cleanup spot. His courtesy runner, Austin Klein, did score a run. Nianti Gerke went 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. His pinch hitter, Leo Morrow, drew a walk in as the bases were loaded, so 1 RBI for Leo Morrow in a pinch-hitting role. Charlie Correll went to the plate 3 times. He went 2 for 2 as he also had an RBI sacrifice fly. That's the 1 RBI he had. Ramel Hernandez scored a run running for him. 1 for 1 for Ben Morrow and an RBI for him as he was the pinch hitter that hit the game-ending RBI with a single out into left field. Owen Brauch went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. In the 8th slot, it was Derek Enertson. Enertson went 1 for 3, did have a run scored and an RBI. And the DH, Jason Moist, just went 0 for 1, but he did score a run. He drew 2 walks in the game. On the mound for Dowling, Charlie Carell got the start in the win. He went 3 innings of work, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned with 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. Joe McCarger went the other 2 innings for Dowling. He did allow 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He did not walk any batters, and he struck out 4 in relief. He threw 38 pitches, so he would be available on Friday if need be, as Dowling will take on Mason City on the road in a doubleheader. So it's good to have that extra arm available. 25 of his 38 pitches were strikes, 13 were balls. Charlie Carell would not be available until next Monday. He threw 62 pitches as the starter, 38 were strikes, 24 were balls. As mentioned, we're probably 20 to 25 minutes away from the teams taking the field, so we'll take a little bit of a break and come back with Game 2 of our doubleheader as Dowling Catholic will look for the sweep against Des Moines Lincoln, live from Principal Park. You're watching it here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.